is going on, guys? Cooked here, bringing you another Monster Hunter World video, and in this video we'll be taking a look at my Badass Blast bow set. So unfortunately it doesn't have power coating, but I can definitely see why they didn't put it on, because you're proccing blast so many goddamn times, boy, it's fucking crazy!
Not funny.
But yeah, you can make do. You basically have every other coating. So we have our close range coating here, which just, you know, it's nice that you don't have to worry about conserving your coatings really. You just shoot the shit until the monster blows up pretty much. So that's kind of nice, not worrying about your power coatings. Next we have our paralysis coating here as well, so you can paralyze the monster, which is always nice. We have our sleep coating as well to sleep the monster. A little nap time for these monsters, bitch ass monsters. Okay. And then we have poison coating to get the tick damage on them, which is nice as well. And then on top of giving us a ridiculous amount of blast on the weapon itself, they also gave us blast coating. How incredibly nice of them. So basically the way that I've adopted playing this bow is when my apothecary mantle's up and I'm able to use it, throw that on, and then I use just close range coating to proc the blast. And then once my apothecary mantle runs out, I'll usually switch to blast if I have any coatings left, and you know, hit them with that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So we do have tool specialists on this build, so your apothecary mantle and your affinity booster are going to be coming back 20% yeah, 20% faster. So I kind of built the build around that. And as you can see too, like the close range coating does pretty decent damage as well. Now, another thing that I would recommend doing is bringing along things to craft more blast coating. So what you need to craft those are fire herbs and empty vials. You can get, if you just go to the first camp in the Wildspire Waste as well, there's tons of fire herbs there. So you can pick those up, or you can just grow them in your little garden. So let's take a look and see what we have going on here. So first of all, of course, we have the new Taroth Arrow Blast. And as you can see, it has 240 attack, 360 blast element, a level 3 gem slot, plus 30 defense, which is super nice for the bow, and then all of those coatings. Now for the augment, I would probably put attack on this one, just because our affinity booster's up all the time. You're going to be at 100% chance to crit when it is. Moving on to the charm, I have the tool specialist charm slotted in here, but unless you guys have 4 attack jewels, you're going to want to put an attack charm on here. It's just because I don't have any of the tool specialist jewels, so I just slotted in attack, but it's the same thing. Moving on though, we have our Cold Taroth Fury for point to free element and a point to agitator. We have our Cool Taroth chest piece for 2 points into stun resist and a point into crit boost. This one here is the beta. We have our Kaiser Band Braces Alpha for 2 points into weakness exploit. We have our Kaiser Coil Alpha for 2 points into blast attack and a point into weakness exploit. And lastly, we have our Kieran Leg Guards Beta for 2 points into free element. And then for the tools, I would definitely run Apothecary and Affinity Booster. No questions about it. So taking a look at our decorations now. Here you can put in whatever you want really. You can put in the 4-shot jewel for normal shots. You can put in the spread jewel for spread shots. I'm probably going to end up running with spread jewel, honestly. But it's kind of up to you what you want to run there and how your playstyle is. I like to spam spread shots, so that's what I'd put there. But here we have the Mighty Bow Jewel, and again, you know, if you don't have this jewel, you can also put in another crit boost, which would probably work out pretty well. Moving on though, we have the 1 attack jewel here, and regardless of how you know, if you have 3 attack jewels or not, you're gonna put that one there. And then again, please don't hate me. I have 4 attack jewels, and it's not because I save scum or anything like that, or scum save, but I just play the out of this game. So, but in those slots there, you're gonna put the tool specialist jewels. This slot, if you wanted, you could also, you know, run the spread shots here, so that you have normal and spread shots. But I figured that having Challenger to boost your attack and affinity a little bit more is kind of nice. And then lastly, just a blast drill down there at the bottom to round that out to 3. So taking that all together, we have 272 attack, we have 55% affinity when hitting a weak point, 440 blast, and then almost 500 defense with resistance to fire and thunder, which I'm sure you already know is very nice. So looking at the skills, we have attack boost level 4, boosting our attack by 12 and affinity by 5, blast attack level 3, boosting the build up by 20%, free element 3, taking the 100% of the hidden element, which is the blast. Then we have weakness exploit 3, boosting our affinity by 50% when hitting a weak point. And we have tool specialist 3, so it shortens the time for us to reuse our apothecary mantle and our affinity booster, like I mentioned before, by 20%. Which is nice since we're proccing blast, right? So next we have stun resistance. For stun resistance, we have agitator 2, boosting our attack by 8 and our affinity by 6. And then this next spot here, you're either going to have normal shots or spread shots, depending on what route you want to go. Then we have 1 level of crit boost, and then 1 level of bow charge plus. Or bow charge plus, rather, because it only has 1 level. But yeah, so, you know, I've gotten a couple of comments now, basically on all these status builds. They're like, why don't you use the Zora 3-piece? Why? Like, it's gonna boost your attack by a lot more. It's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. And honestly, I don't think it's worth it. Even this set that's blast, I don't think it's worth it, really. You know, that's just my opinion, and that's why I build these, you know, these statuses this way, because having 3 pieces of Zora Magrios, I'd rather shoot myself. Like, it's good on some weapon types and it's good on certain things, but I'm just hoping that they put something else in the game that lets us achieve that, like they did with the USJ armor, to give us more options for, you know, like the Rathlos mastery. But, you know, if you want to run the Zora, like, I'm sure you could make it work with this build, or like with this bow. But me personally, like, I just don't find it that great. But and one other thing to note as well is you definitely want to bring dash juice with you, since we don't have any stamina management on the build. But yeah, so I decided to go after a tempered Kushala, since he is a large pain in the dick now that flash pods have been nerfed. I also did a little blast counter to show you guys how many times I'm able to proc blast in the fight, and it's pretty dope. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. This has been Cooked, and I will see you all in the next tasty episode.